Love Alessia Cara. I wonder if she'll watch our podcast.
What's up? All right, yeah, we're just gonna go live
guys,
with a quick
welcome.
pre-show. We're actually 2 whole minutes early instead of
Let's
2
see,
minutes
look.
late.
I was on time.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you absolutely were.
Rushing the shit.
What about the
I could've
viewers
time.
who aren't showing up yet?
Well, that's why
That
we're
was
gonna
one
wait.
exciting, interesting story
It's
from this year's
Told them
Pistons.
3
Oh,
o'clock.
I know. That's why. Actually, I said 2, but that's why we are waiting to start on the topics of discussion. So right now we're just chilling.
Wait, what the fuck? My face is on there. You didn't tell me it was live.
I did tell you it was live.
You're actually trolling. Wait, can people hear me?
My left ear. David is only in my
Oh,
left ear.
you're only in the left ear.
Why did you tell me that before?
You're not in the in the left ear for us. Only
Yeah,
just
I can
for the
hear it
stream,
fine.
apparently.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, you
That's
sound
actually-
great to me.
You're in both ears, man.
Show only connected device. Force microphone auxiliary to mono? Like, how do
Oh,
I...
yeah, 2 minutes.
That's so weird.
I just want to say, David, that you look fantastic today. I must.
Why is everyone wearing a hat?
Wait, just me and
Not
you
wearing
wearing
a hat.
that.
I was gonna
Oh,
wear a
yeah.
hat. You didn't give me enough time to go get my hat from upstairs, so thanks.
No, you
David.
can't get a hat.
Why?
Should I go get a hat?
Is the stream muted? I'm watching
Does-
myself right now.
This game's not
Hey!
muted. Why does OBS only
Oh.
audio?
All I do is drop F-bombs.
Yeah, check this out. Look at the chat.
Can I do an intro? What's going on, guys?
Oh,
shit.
thank you
Oh.
for subscribing, Walterbare, for
Shit.
2 months in a row.
But who cares about Walterbare? Because Clutter just subscribed.
Oh my! And then Clutter Monkey. Wait.
Thank you for
don't use
subscribing,
Clutter
Clutter
Monkey
Monkey
anyway.
GCD.
Am I
2 months in
am I
a row.
subscribed?
David, you're dating her, and you would know that she doesn't use Clutter Monkey anymore. Thanks.
I'm
She's
subscribed.
always
by the
gonna
way.
be my Clutter Monkey, bro.
Can we
She'll
not?
always be
Can we not
Clutter
right now, David? Can you not? That's unprofessional, dude. Unprofessional. I swear.
That's unprofessional, David.
Why is your mic so quiet, Elb?
Yeah,
It
you're,
shouldn't be
you're a little
quiet
bit
at all.
quiet.
It's not
I call
quiet
you
at all.
Elbow.
Yeah, you can call me Elbow.
Yo, bring
Yeah,
the
well,
mic up to your face.
Up here, just like.
Are we
right
allowed to
my
swear?
face.
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah.
are actually, but I'm not gonna swear. You guys were swearing a lot before, and I was like, dude, swear words.
Can we say?
No,
Never.
just stop.
I'm just not. I'm not gonna say it.
Poopy
It's
pants.
gotta be in the OBS settings.
I like the background on the show. It's in. I think that's in Desolus, right? Oh no. That's in that new place.
Depends on.
That is in.
Let me know if this
What's that
fixes
place
it, guys. I
don't know
just
what the
changed
freak
it
it's
to
called.
mono or whatever. Let me know if that fixes it.
Yeah, what you sitting on there, sipping on their elbow?
All right, I'm sipping on some fucking Christmas
When
ale.
is the next
Dude, your mic is
GCD
so quiet.
tournament? Mine is, or who?
Turn me up in Discord. 'cause
It's
Yeah,
next
Elbow.
Saturday.
It's
right?
not quite
Yeah,
anybody else.
Yeah. The next tournament is going to be Saturday, January 9th and 10th. Dude, this is going to be actually a struggle for me. Jahmilli is like an ADD person's worst nightmare.
No, I'm fine.
You'll change my topic of discussion like instantly.
No, I won't, dude. I'm calm. I'm like
Everyone's mic's fine, by the way,
cool.
David.
Okay, cool.
Elbareth.
He's
Well,
like
cheers
calm and cool.
to you
Don't
all.
worry
Thank
about
you guys for coming and
Elbareth,
tuning in.
Oh.
This is Q Up PvP Talk Show, episode 2. And of course, I am Dmachine. If you guys didn't already know that, I am the creator of GCD TV. And joining me today is Elbareth. You guys all know who Elbareth is. Elbareth actually
Oh, yeah.
was a player manager at BlizzCon, and he's also one of my good friends. And he's here to. And he's been in the PvP scene for freaking years. At this
I was
point.
Wallabare's PvP or.
I got a question for
player
you,
manager.
Dean.
He was my manager. At
Okay,
BlizzCon.
hold on. And Walterbare, of course, is joining us again, or for the first time, rather. And
The
Wallabare,
first time.
Walterbare. Do you prefer Wallabare or Walterbare?
I don't know.
I like
man.
Walter personally.
He prefers Garfield. If you know,
I prefer Garfield because I don't like Mondays, but I love lasagna.
But Walterbare, if you guys don't know
Oh,
him,
nice one.
I'm sure you already know him. He's the feral druid from Team Splice, and he is the Live Lord himself. And then, of course, we have Jahmilli from the one and only
That's my
Tempo
name.
Storm. That is your name. He's actually the tournament number 4, or is it 3? Oh man, tournament number
3.
I don't win
3
tournaments,
champion.
No, that's not me. Definitely not me.
So, shout out goes to Jahmilli, and there we are, and here we are. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves individually? Why don't you start, Elb? While I fix.
What did
stuff.
you say? Introduce ourselves?
Yeah, I want you to introduce yourself individually now. After
Introduce
I'm
introduce
myself.
Jahmilli. That's who I am. I'm Jahmilli.
It's not your turn yet, dude.
Sorry,
Starship
just-
is now
sorry,
hosting you for
so-
14 viewers. Thank you so much, Starship, for that host.
Damn, this is probably the biggest
What?
host I've ever seen.
Why didn't Starship just watch the stream on his stream?
Mm-hmm. Why isn't Starship here?
Sorry, I just
Anyways,
took a sip of scotch.
I'm Elbareth. I don't know. Should I just read my Twitch like bio?
Oh yeah, definitely follow. Yeah, sure, do that. That's good. Follow him on Twitter though.
I'm a washed up gamer.
You're
I don't know. I'm a secret GCD admin. I'm behind the
Done
scenes.
dad.
I'm a
He is
done dad.
secret GCD.
I'm a player manager extraordinaire. I'm a queue up and observer extraordinaire. I don't know. There's nothing about me.
You're definitely extraordinary.
He was the guy
Thanks.
pressing the queue up button at BlizzCon. Very
He
good
managed
job.
my team and Cloud9 at BlizzCon.
That's true.
Did a good job too.
He actually
was a
did
lot
like
of work.
4 jobs at the same time. So, shout out.
In my
to
opinion,
Dmachine.
he was the best manager too.
What were the other 2 jobs?
Okay.
Oh.
A little bit of shots fired. A little bit of shots fired.
Chelsea was the best manager. It's cool though.
Dude, I was a fan of Chelsea. I was a fan
Chelsea
of
and then Toxic and then Elbareth.
In that order.
Yikes, dude.
Ooh,
In that order, Jesus.
All right. Well, thank you
Just-
for that introduction, Elbareth. Walterbare, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us why
I'm
you're so
Walterbare.
handsome.
You eat a balanced diet and you
No, you
get
don't.
that mountain air out here in the Alberta area. I don't know. I played at BlizzCon this year, and I play with Splice, with Absurge, Dota, and Jellybeans.
Now, what is Spicy? If you can tell us real quick, what is Splice?
Splice
actually?
is it's the TV guide of esports, basically.
Whoa,
You
that
love your
sounds
country?
really interesting.
If you want to learn more
So
about
are
that,
you
there's
saying-
a button below?
Yeah.
Bye.
So are you saying that if I want to watch any esport in the world and I need a TV guide, I just hit the menu guide on my keyboard and it'll bring me to Splice and I can see any single.
No, yeah. If you if you're into esports like CS and League and Dota and everything, it'll show you the schedule for upcoming tournaments and stuff. Not just World of Warcraft, but everything.
Dude, what a great organization.
I know it is actually pretty sweet.
It was pretty sick. Like I found
Seriously.
followesports.com through like a tweet. I think someone got sponsored, but in like the CS, no, in Smash Bros, someone got sponsored, and I found Follow Esports is what Splice used to be called, and I used it like nonstop. I actually used it every single day, and I actually got approached by them, and it was like the coolest thing ever.
No, it's good. It's good stuff.
It's always good to get sponsors. Sure, it's always good to get that funding, but it's always great to get that funding from stuff that you actually like give a shit about. You feel me? But that was my take on Splice. But what about you, Jahmilli? Let's hear your introduction.
Hey, I'm Jahmilli. I'm a mage. I'm a lot of things actually, but I'm mainly a mage. I'm really good at the game, and I'm also on Templestorm. So templestorm.com. Check that out. And yep.
Templestorm.com.
That's me.
There it is.
Is there a code we can use to buy any cool items from Tempestone.com?
Oh, it's actually a great question. Wow. There is actually. I believe it's Tempo is the code TMPO, all caps.
And can I buy a jersey that you wore?
Oh
at
yeah, of
BlizzCon?
course, man. Yeah, you
Oh,
can buy a
man,
jersey. You
that's-
can buy some hats, buy some
Oh.
shirts.
Have you worn them though?
What's up?
Can you wear them? Can you wear them first?
You actually can. Yes, you can wear them for sure. Yep.
I would like a Starship worn jersey though. Where can I
What's
find
up?
one of those?
Starship Warrior.
A Starship worn jersey, like he wore himself for like a couple days,
Um.
not washed.
Yeah, you're
of
gonna have to
course.
talk to Starship.
Yeah,
Sign
my
it with his sweat.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we could jump right into the topics of discussion. All right. So the very first topic that we have up here is World
sorry
of
for
Warcraft
coughing.
3v3 too hard to spectate? So, I mean, that's like one of the biggest things that I get when I talk to people who are just tuning into GCD TV is, yeah, there's just no way for me to know what's going on. It's too hard to spectate,
Yeah.
this and that. What's your take on it, Jahmilli? Do you feel like
Oh.
3v3 Arena is too hard to spectate? Why or why not?
It's hard to spectate for a viewer. That actually, it's pretty hard to spectate in general, actually, but especially for a viewer. That's why it's really important for commentators to actually be good and know what they're talking about. Like Super T's is amazing, and you're actually pretty good too. Like Ven is pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if commentators are good, it's like really enjoyable because they can like help viewers keep up with it and stuff. But it's always gonna be hard to spectate in a game like this where there's a bunch of abilities and 11 different classes.
I think we kind of all agree with that. I'm just going to go ahead and go on.
That's
our
why
limb
like the
here.
best format is actually like 6v6. That's easy to spectate.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
you don't have
a
to-
different objective to follow
actually is.
instead of the individual abilities. Yeah.
I actually have a unique perspective. Maybe not unique. Maybe David, you heard this as well. During opening week when we did the 6v6, and then right, we had the 6v6 like invitational thing.
Yeah.
the actual like production company, the people running the production, running the show, the director actually was standing backstage, and he made a comment that the 6v6 was way easier to watch in his opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Coming from
objectives,
somebody-
and it's
yeah.
not just like a
It's
long.
literally, it's almost better in every way, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
it
Yeah.
really is.
It's
except
a
for some of the
gigantic
maps, maybe.
Yeah, like
I feel like it's a lot better.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, when you look at 3v3 Arena and you compare it to 6v6 from like a spectator point of view and its potential to grow, it's just so much more accessible to just a gigantic demographic versus the 3v3 is so limited. And not only that, but
Like, for
Battlegrounds itself. Battlegrounds themselves are played by so much more players than Arena. But
Yeah.
I do think they would need to change up the maps, though. I think the maps really aren't
For
like
6v6.
ready for 6v6.
I'd agree with you. I mean,
But
that
Battlegrounds
being
are also
said-
Shrink them or something, but
There was actually a pretty cool idea. I don't know if you guys, well, this is actually bringing up a pretty funny story for opening week. So we had the idea. When I say we, I mean the one and only VHEL had the idea to actually block off the roofs after we hosted the Warsong Gulch 6v6 tournament for GCD.
oh right.
And then those Mistweaver monks would just port nonstop.
Yeah, they're so good.
They're just like overpowered as hell.
Like,
And
reuse
so
those
one,
game mechanics.
Blizzard not only fixed how far they could port, specifically on Warsong Gulch and War Games, but they also, going into the 6v6 War Games, they actually blocked them off. And I was sitting right behind the EU team as they were running up, they're like, oh, we're just gonna go to the top, and I'm just gonna port. I think it was a Warlock or something, or no, it wasn't a Warlock. It was something that could port.
Nice.
And he ran up and he was so surprised, and he turned around and he's like, there's a glitch in the game, and there was this giant gate blocking him off from going up to the roof, and it was no glitch, they just weren't notified ahead of time. It was the funniest thing ever. They're like, what the fuck, like on stage. And but yeah, I think like little GM tricks like that could really make the maps a lot smaller. But what's your take on that? Do you think that block off to the roof was a good change? I'll ask you.
Yeah, I think so. There it is, because maps are really big, especially for 6 people. So I feel like if they were smaller, I feel like it'd be better. Same for things like Arathi Basin, especially. Like that wouldn't be a good map for 6v6 unless it was smaller or maybe had less bases or something. Then it would just be Gilneas, so
Right.
which is fine.
I don't know.
Also-
Gilneas was like really, really cool to watch, but I don't know. There was something lacking.
Well, the
in
camera
Gilneas.
was bad too.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
What did you
noob.
think of the size of Gilneas, Ja? Like when you played it, doing the 6v6?
Well, it'd probably be smaller, but I don't know. I thought it was fine.
I know another.
Maybe not smaller because it's like important for people.
ahead.
I think it's okay.
Yeah, David, do you remember? I think it was still during opening week. We were actually talking with Ben about what maps he thought would be good,
Oh yeah,
and he brought up
that's
Eye
a
of the
weird
Storm.
thing. Yeah, Eye of the Storm.
how even though it's big, that there's so many nodes and like so many points of contention that it's gonna force a lot of like 1v1s and like 2v1s
Yeah.
like that.
That's true. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
for like 6v6, there's so you're forced to spread about, and then you get like those scenarios which I personally love to watch, which is like those 1v1s, those 1v2s, and stuff like that. It kind of like forces people in those scenarios, and then that kind of gives you the opportunities for some sick outplays. So like we've never seen a 1v2 scenario in any competitive broadcast yet. You know what I mean? I mean, we did. Shout out to Orange Marmalade, but but not really. You know what I mean? That'd be so cool. Like for example, one of my favorite parts about the 6v6 on Gilneas specifically was when we saw like Peekaboo going in and facing like a rogue one-on-one, like Roasties one-on-one and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that was like, to me, my favorite part about those Gilneas specifically. So I
Yeah.
don't know.
Battlegrounds are also easier to follow too because they're actual games like people play and understand. Like
Yeah,
for
that's
example,
true.
when I never played games like StarCraft, like I could watch a StarCraft game and be like excited
Right.
and really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can still tell what's going on. There's so many different little things that both players are doing, but it's still easy to follow because it's just
It's capture
like
the flag.
objectives. yeah.
We all played that.
Same thing for Battlegrounds.
Yeah. No,
They
I
were to somehow
100%
be
agree, dude. I 100%
Yeah.
agree.
Competitive, they'd be so much easier to follow.
Yeah.
Because like the
Like-
competitive aspect of 3v3 arena is like how well I can use my abilities and counter your
Right.
abilities.
Yeah.
Like that's so complex for like random people to just watch.
Well, and it's too long and it's slow. Like even when it's fast paced, it takes too long.
Basically,
like only it's you're going for the kill, and it takes like 5-6 minutes to get a kill. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it becomes like watching an actual sport rather than because like when you're watching it's like football or basketball, there's like 10 or so people just doing different jobs, but you don't really pay attention to them. Like you just pay attention to them as a whole, as a team, and then it's like rarely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Someone just pointed out in chat the camera person needs to know what they're doing because it's bad. It's been bad in the past. Yes.
Well, yeah. I
just
mean,
to
it was
speak
bad
on-
once. I'm sure.
It was bad in GCDs too because, and that being.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and it's because there was the new camera, and it's hard to get used to it like right away because it just recently came out.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, like we're still learning on how to spectate, and like just adding those two together, it was very difficult to do that. But as we move forward, I definitely have faith that we can figure it out. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah, it definitely would.
That being said, I guess the second part of the question was what could we do to change it to make it easier to watch when it comes to 3v3 arena. But I feel like that's a pretty good suggestion right there, is to focus a little bit more on 6v6. But it's definitely it's a growing pain to make that transition for sure.
You can't. I don't think you can force the 6v6 though. I think
Yeah.
Blizzard needs to make changes to make 6v6 actually fun.
Honestly,
enjoyable.
3v3, you can't. You can't make it much easier to watch. I don't think. I mean, you would have maybe more add-ons for the spectating and like cooldowns and everything, but like it's honestly up to like if you don't know what's going on at like that level, then it's honestly just up to the commentator to provide you with
make it exciting.
Like that's why commentators like, yeah, it is. But I don't know, like how else could you actually make it easier? I don't know.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
You guys have been doing a good job of that though. Like I love listening to
like
Super Cheers commentate and stuff.
Yeah, I think
Like aside
Super
from just
T's-
having like more abilities on the screen or something, I don't know.
Yeah, and then at that point, well, where's the line where it makes it actually overcomplicated for like a person who's brand new? You know, my idea in the past, but it actually got nixed, and I'm not sure if it was a bad idea or not. But let me know what you guys think. There's definitely some problems with it, but this is the idea that we would actually have the cooldown tracker at the bottom, but we'd separate them in categories of defensive, offensive, and miscellaneous. So the reason why I wanted to do that is because even if you're not familiar with the icons of the cooldowns of each class, you'd still have a general idea of the tool set that's available to the players that are competing left while you're watching. So you're like, okay, so this offensive cooldown was just used, and then this team used all of their defensive cooldowns. You don't know what those cooldowns are if you're a noob, but at least you know that those are defensive cooldowns. But what do you guys think about that? Is that like actually overcomplicate things, or is that
No? That's simplifying it. I think that's a really good idea, honestly. Because the problem with showing all the cooldowns is people who don't know what they are confused by it. But if you like explain what they are just by saying it's offensive or defensive, that's a good idea, I think.
I mean, that's the biggest thing though, right? Is like icons. Like no one's gonna, if you're brand new, you have no idea what icons mean.
right? What do you think, Ja?
So
I'm thinking.
I forgot why. I actually brought it up to Vadrak and a couple other people, and they actually thank you for that subscription, Starship. I really appreciate that, bro. Let's get some
Starship, can you not interrupt us, please? Jesus.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll bring it back up to Vadrak and see what he thinks. But there's
It's
some
also hard to decide.
There's some consequences to that. There's consequences to everything, right? And I just can't remember what they were.
it might be cluttered, right? Because like
Yeah, it's hard to.
and like the goal, obviously, the end goal is to like educate the viewer to the point where they don't need something like that.
Right.
And I think if you just lump everything in defensive category, like, and somebody pointed out in chat, like some cooldowns might be defensive and offensive.
Yeah, that's why it would be miscellaneous. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
It's like when I ice block, like more than half the time it's not defensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Still, though, it is like.
And would you just lump
It is a
everybody's
defensive
abilities
tool
into
that you no
defensive?
longer have available to you?
It's a defensive cooldown you can use offensively, I guess.
It would make it interesting for people because
that's the thing.
they'd see you using your defensives offensively though, and that would make it like I don't know. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Even
Do you have a so in this like your UI or whatever, would it all be every single class's defensives on one team lumped?
I actually.
Or
got
would you
another
have it
sub. Sorry,
separate?
I'm gonna sell up for a second. Thank you so much, Diotox TV. Really appreciate it.
Diotox TV just subscribed, guys.
He did.
That's his name. It's
What an
Diot.
amazing person.
Continue
Diox.
your thought, Elb.
So in your UI idea, is the defensive cooldown separated by class as well, or is it just lumped into one, like defensive cooldowns of this team?
Yeah. So it would be the exact same thing that you see now, like where you have like the different players and the different classes at the bottom, and then there's the row of the cooldowns. But instead of just the row of the cooldowns, they'd literally just be separated icons with columns at the top that said offensive, defensive, misc.
That might be a little bit too cluttered.
It's totally gonna be
I don't
cluttered.
know.
Do you remember
You can there's got to be a way you can do it simple though.
I mean, I don't think it really adds too much of a complexity to it. Because, like, do you remember before, like, when the Vadrex interface first came out, he actually was requested to put in, like, every single cooldown to track. And he had, like, these gigantic bars at the bottom of the screen, literally tracking every single icon. So,
yeah.
So, I don't know. It's definitely something to try. We're always willing to try something new, but at the same time, trying something new and incorporating that big, giant change in the interface is actually a lot of work. But Vadrek is a bro. He actually is a super talented individual. But I guess that was actually a really good discussion regarding 3v3 arenas and it being difficult to watch or not. I guess something else to point out is that I really, really like, this might not be completely off topic.
I like you too, Dmachine.
Thank you. I really, really like that Overwatch is going to be on consoles. I mean, Smite did that first. They brought Smite to consoles, and I think that consoles are like the main accessibility option for a lot of gamers. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, to me, the reason why so many Americans watch football is because football is such a big part of like every American's life. If they
It's
go
so
to, like,
accessible.
high school. Yeah.
Football.
Like I mean,
We're getting into later discussions, aren't we? A little bit.
Is it? Is this later discussion? Oh, it totally is.
MLG?
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So wait, do you want to like what? Do you want WoW on the console or what? Here, Dmachine. I don't know.
Dude, I don't think that's
He's
a
trying to
thing.
get-
I don't think that's a thing, but I think it's a good way.
Console
for me
gamers
to-
are bad compared to PC gamers.
All right, how about this? We'll save those questions for later. There's actually that's funny. We'll save those questions for later. But first, we're gonna take a secret Elbareth question number 1. You ready for that?
Ooh, secret.
Ooh,
Dude, I'm nervous.
So,
is this?
let me
nervous.
add some context for the viewers. Okay, so we actually sent a list of topic discussions and questions to these players preemptively, but we did not share 2 questions that are going to be secret Elbareth questions. So take it away, Elb. They don't know what's about to come.
Okay. Now, just answer these as honestly as you can. Don't worry about
it so raw and uncut.
don't worry about. Hey, listen. Don't worry about the. Don't worry about the shots. We're all friends here. All right.
Don't worry about shots, huh?
No
Okay.
shots. All right. So, secret Elbareth question number 1 is
Dude, it's bad.
why do you think the top 2 EU teams placed first and second at BlizzCon? Is EU the stronger region? Right. Based on
Yeah, sure, I'll
BlizzCon, is EU
answer.
the stronger region?
One, doesn't matter that they finished first, second. Anyone could have finished first, second. 2, Common RMD is better than RMD, and it's better than our Godcom because our Godcom was bad, or it was bad. And yeah, Turbo's just better too. Like Turbo should have got first because we like tied for third, and then you were FLS. It's like
Yeah.
why wouldn't Turbo win? You know what I mean? Actually, Common RMD should have won. Like
the
I
thing
think
is-
Common RMD actually has an advantage, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I'll let you finish. Sorry.
But I think they're a better region. This expansion, they're probably better because most of the players over there enjoy the game a lot more, and when you enjoy the game a lot more, you try a lot harder all the time. But then at the same time, it's like US teams will also just try really hard in tournaments. And I know you think like, oh, they practice so much and they deserve to win, blah blah blah. But there's there's honestly, once you get to a certain point, like playing every single day doesn't really do that much. Like maybe it'll keep you fresh or whatever.
No, I feel like there's a lot to go into this.
I agree with that. Yeah.
There's
And
a
it's
lot
also it's like if you look at like mage teams, for example, your job is really repetitive. If you play something like even FLS or Turbo or just any shaman thing, like practicing is actually more helpful, I think, because you're just like your job isn't just setting up over and over and over. Like it's just different. It's like preventing things and just knowing what to do in each situation, like improvising. I don't know, just different. It's like for example,
so real quick, not to cut you off, but one thing I did notice, and I talked to both teams, is that the Europeans were actually like the biggest thing like between like playing on ladder right now is that like you can queue on Europe, like on the Europe ladders, and like mostly have a queue like instantly. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But on
Well,
US,
there's more people too.
Yeah, but on US, like people just sit there all day, like waiting for queues, and that was the biggest thing the Europeans noticed is that, like they started to realize like why the NA people hated WoW is because not only because of the game, but they just sat in queue forever, and like it was just annoying.
Yeah, it's not good either. Well, I mean, the reason a lot of times the queue is so long too is because people don't want to play as much.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your take on that, Walter? Being so close there and competing.
I think they just took it really seriously, and they were playing combat RMD. Like those were the two teams that practiced the most, so they were obviously taking it really serious, and they were fresh and ready to go and everything every time they played. But
they played the most and they practiced the most and had the best comms.
Yeah, you guys should have been playing in combat. I don't know why the rogues on NA weren't trying combat at all, because it's clearly better
with it, right?
in a lot of situations.
I just wasn't comfortable.
But and also the ladders weren't set up like in a favorable way for us to get the turbo, because there's 2 jungle cleaves in the tournament, and we never played the turbo. The turbo won the tournament because they do well against RMDs and stuff, because they played it really well. But my team, I think we would have beat the turbo, or at least we would have.
Like everyone there was like,
we beat them on ladder when we were playing without Skype, without jelly beans. We were playing with just like a random hunter. Like we beat them on the US ladder.
Yeah, Joe.
So if we had got a chance, it would have been, I don't know, we could have definitely.
Yeah, Joe admitted to me that he was scared. Like they were really scared of you.
Yeah, we talked to them all the time about it, and they knew that like jungle does really well against turbo, or it used to.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's funny we're like talking about how like you guys could just randomly win BlizzCon if you get like better brackets.
We probably wouldn't have won because we would have got the combat RMD after that, but we could have done a lot better than we did.
It also doesn't help that when our series first time, like we were lagging the entire time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was awful. What was?
That was at opening week, right?
No, it was both. It was both.
Oh, really?
I think it may have been because there were so many people like spectating and stuff, but the servers felt really laggy.
Yeah.
No, it was so bad.
The thing is about the tournament realm.
It wasn't even latency.
It's literally just one server out there. It's not like I don't know. It just I honestly when it comes to like the technology for that tournament realm, it's just super old. It needs to be updated realistically, and I'm sure it will be with Legion. But yeah, we had to deal with it. We had to deal with it for WAD GG. But that actually brings up a really good point that I wanted to ask you players about. So we're talking about brackets, we're talking about compositions and stuff like that. Do you guys ever, especially with the amount of incentive and the amount of people who are taking it more seriously with multiple compositions per team and stuff like that, do you ever envision a tournament in World of Warcraft where the team that is better and is more versatile will win versus the team that gets the better bracket and who has the comps available to win should win? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I feel like
this expansion, not much this expansion.
No, not this expansion, but in the future, do you think that that's a possibility? Elbareth smiles and laughs at me in this one because this is like my dream, right? Like that's the whole point of why I brought this format. It's the whole point of like
your little baby.
Everything is like I'm trying to incorporate like because like that's what's really what format's all about. Is it's supposed to be about who put in the more work, who's more talented, and who is more versatile should be the winner, right? Whoever deserves it. But I feel like there's people who get bad brackets, and there's other variables that get taken into consideration. And then all of a sudden, that kind of like throws all competitive integrity out the window, right? When you have to talk about compositions, like that shouldn't be a thing.
Well, the thing is, right now, even if everything was balanced, there's no one team that is just a lot better than every other team. Right. Like, if you think of all the teams, like, all teams are just, like, good. There's no one team that's amazing.
It's like a tier list. It's not like...
It's like...
top players, really.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Right now is obviously Cloud9, but it's not even because of the players. Like, obviously really good, but it's because all the comps they have. Like, they have really good players, and then they have all 80% of the good comps. So... But if, like, just imagine if everyone just had the same comp, it would literally just come down to who just plays better that day, because like the skill difference or whatever isn't that big throughout each team.
Yeah,
like everyone is just really close to each other. That's why there's no consistent winner in any of these tournaments ever. Like it's always
just all the classes are so simple that it's like when you meet
it's hard to outplay too.
Yeah,
like.
I mean, like even when outplay was a lot more, even back in the day, there was still definitely compositions out there that were just more, or universally were just better.
Yeah, but you also, I don't know, you could do a lot more. Actually, I don't remember that far back, like in BC, because I actually think BC could have been worse than WAD. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was just players were just so new.
Oh, yeah.
Like BC was probably worse than WOD. It just didn't seem like it at
think
the
it's
time.
worse than WOD. Yeah.
It just didn't seem like it at the time because it was new and stuff.
Whoa.
The players in the game have changed so much. Like,
Yeah,
I
everyone's
think,
gotten so much better. Like actually, everyone's
yeah.
gotten so much
I think the average skill level of the player is like even higher than it was in MOP now.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we have streaming is so much more popular, and there's guides everywhere and everything like that.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I guess like that's my biggest thing is that
Yeah.
I feel like we have to like get over a hurdle that is like just the lacking of the game. But I guess we can transition that a little bit later into like what Legion has to bring. What the heck? I got a total bear strike for $3 from Yelling Cat. Yelling Cat. Wow, I'm retarded.
Total bear strike.
Total
I mean,
tactical bear strike. Excuse me. I'm a very small font. Okay, man. Thank you for that $3 donation, dude. Shout out to my buddy Walterbare. But I guess I'd like to talk a little bit more about this when we get to the Legion discussion, which is that recent PvP post that Legion brought up and like all the different changes that Legion has, and we can talk about what do you think that will do and how do you think that'll help. But I guess the next topic of discussion. Oh, this is actually I'm so bad when it comes to these topics of discussions. I actually just incorporate my own like questions for you guys for me to better GCD TV. And a lot of people have brought up that like
You're
when
selfish.
yeah, I'm very selfish. People brought up that GCD TV's numbers and compared to like other esports and stuff like that, the esports that we're competing with have way bigger prize pools. And I was just wondering with you guys, how do you think that GCD TV should raise bigger prize pools? Like, do you have any ideas to do such a thing?
That's
do a bunch of. Sorry.
What happened?
This is for the chat as well, by the way.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like that's really hard to say.
Yeah.
But
You
you guys are
should-
doing a good job, I think, so far.
You're already doing it. Like you have to give more people incentive to donate. Like so it works for
Oh,
everyone.
you
Like you have
think
to give
that
them.
donations is what's gonna get me there?
Yeah, what else would? Unless you get like sponsors to give you prize pools, Diamond 2 or something like that. Like what else can you do? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Donation
That's kind of what I'm
subs.
asking. I mean, we've attempted sponsors, and maybe going into the second season of the Pro League, we'll get even more sponsors. But we did get hooked up with a couple of new sponsors, and it's been great. It's been awesome. But I definitely want. I want to push.
Blizzard
it.
should like give you guys money because it actually
They
just
should. They really should. But
it's so much. It's so good to actually just invest in that. If they
are you guys starting to merch at all? Like you guys have a shirt that
We
came
just
out,
got
right?
the shirt coming out. It's,
I
it's
wanna-
difficult to merch because like if you want to get like good profits off of merch, you have to kind of pay up front. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to buy all the shirts preemptively if you don't want to go through Teespring or whatever, and you want to make more profits. You'd have
Yeah, I
to
guess
like kind of
so.
put the money forward, and that takes capital. And if we had
Yeah,
capital
yeah.
in the beginning, we would just have a bigger prize pool to begin with. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the end goal.
It's kind of insane. Like obviously WoW isn't in a great state right now, but
Right.
even these GCD tourneys, like the prize pools are like for the compared to the amount of viewers they're getting, like prize pools are actually really low.
Yeah.
And like that's all people
Exactly.
care about nowadays. Like the more money it is, like the bigger tournament like, people
Wow.
think it is. So
10
just
months in a
attract-
row resub from
Holy shit!
Khaleesi's.
Yeah, what
Is that
what
Khaleesi?
Roasties just said?
QT,
Maybe
thank you
read
so
that.
much, man. But yeah, wait, what did Rusty say? I gotta scroll up.
He said something pretty interesting. I thought.
There's a
Yeah,
cool
Blizzard
idea
should
where
just give
Blizzard
them
would make
prize
like a
money.
new mount on the forums and half the money. Oh, dude, that actually, yeah, that's something that other games do where they,
Dude, yeah, every
they have,
MOBA,
like,
right?
they have.
they would
something,
make
like,
more
in the
money
store.
too.
It's like crowdfunding.
Just
Yeah.
literally
I'd
no-
play him out.
You
Yeah.
can't lose anything. It's like win-win. It's like give you guys money for a prize pool, and more
Yeah.
people watch and play.
And
they
David,
care.
you and I have talked about this. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
know how
it's-
many times we've talked about this.
It's definitely
where-
difficult because like
Yeah.
we're a little guy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when it comes to
not even
PvP
little
in
anymore.
general, we're like small compared to like the whole game itself. You know what I mean? So to get like
Yeah, but listen,
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
loves pets. Everybody loves mounts.
It's true. It's true. Everyone would benefit. I mean, maybe I'll bring it up. We'll see what happens. That's a really good idea. I've never brought anything up like that before.
Dude, how many people buy skins? Like,
Dude, oh
in-
my
in,
gosh,
like, other
Warcraft
games?
skins, dude. A GCD
Yeah,
Kickstarter.
like
I'm actually thinking
transmog-
about.
like,
I'm thinking about a
Transmog
GCD
outfits,
Kickstarter.
dude. How many people
transmog?
would buy a transmog outfit, dude? Like, people love skins in other MOBAs, right? Or they like skins in MOBAs.
What would it
Transmog
be
for
like?
WoW, I
Because
guess.
GCD TV is kind of like completely not WoW. You know what I mean? Like we are.
It doesn't
but
have to
we
be
aren't.
anything in GCD, you know what I mean? It could just be WoW PvP. and there'd be a budget, and they can give you some of that. You know what I mean? Help you out because you are the only people running tournaments for the most part, right? Consistently, at least.
Okay, to answer the question, yes. For the second season of the Pro League, we will be hosting a Kickstarter. We will be, but it's like it's one of those things where I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like I don't want to take the community's money unless I know for a fact that we will grow the community together with that money. Like I don't want to just take money just so for the channel. You know what I mean? I want to take money and I want it to make sure that it's an investment for a future. So,
dude, you had 10,000 people watch last stream.
Yeah, no, that was pretty freaking crazy, and that was like completely organic.
Yeah, 10,000 people
crazy.
no host.
That's actually
with a
bananas.
$500 prize pool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Shout out to
It's
Tempo
growing,
Storm
dude.
for taking a crazy tournament, dude. That was a crazy lower bracket you got to go through there.
A lot of upsets, man.
The tournament is so troll. I literally played the worst in that tournament than any other tourney, and we win. And we don't even have a player. I play like a god every other tourney, and then we lose.
Dude, it's because you gotta. It's because you had to bring the morale up of the team. That's all right. Okay.
No, we're just gonna let that one flutter and die.
Yeah, sure, do that.
All right, so we'll jump into the next discussion, which is, did you guys hear about this? MLG just recently sold substantially all assets to Activision Blizzard for $46 million. So MLG, of course, when you hear MLG and you're a video gamer, you're just like, oh my god, that's so cool. But
that's the biggest thing for non-gamers too, right? Like if you don't know games, you at least know about MLG. Oh, those are the pro players play.
Yep.
Right.
That's great. I think that's fucking. Sorry, I think that's amazing. Sorry, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, swear words.
I'll try to. But no, I think that's amazing. I think that's like so good for just Blizzard games in general, and I think that shows that hopefully going forward, like Blizzard knows that esports is where a lot of money is, so maybe they'll
get
into PvP a bit more.
I mean, look at hobbies. Look at Overwatch. Like those games are. I feel like those games have like an esports background for sure. You know what I mean? And not only that, they just recently hired that NFL guy for like their head of their esports. Thank you so much, Henry Timpener. Henry Timpener. Thank you so much, dude, for that sub, dude, and welcome. But yeah, I feel like they definitely are making strides to that direction, that esports focused direction, and hopefully World of Warcraft can jump on that bandwagon too with the other Blizzard esport games. MLG will stomp out GCD TV. I don't think that MLG would want to do that, but I mean, we're all like here at GCD TV. Like the reason why we continued on with it is because we saw that it could help the community. You know what I mean? Like if they want to stomp out GCD TV, then we'll hop off of GCD and help them. Like whatever gets
probably
us
like a
there.
big reason. Probably like a reason why they do it, or they bought it.
Yeah, like I would.
GCD has what? It's made up of the most experienced tournament runners now, like tournament organizers ever in the game, right? I mean, nobody else is better.
Period. Why don't you find a cam for Super Tees? Super Tees has a cam, but it like he gets off of work like super late and this and that. Like he just doesn't want to be on cam. But we're gonna get him hooked up with some sweet Jinx swag, and hopefully he'll want to be on camera for that. But not to get off topic, let's keep talking about this MLG thing. The biggest thing that pops into my head when it comes to MLGs is game battles. Like game battles ladder is very similar to the ladder that I'm doing right now for the Pro League. Anonymous superhero, thank you so much for that resub for 8 months. Holy shit, thank you, dude. But
I wonder which superhero it is.
He's an anonymous one. But I don't know. Would you guys, as pro players, would you guys be opposed to signing up and going through tournaments through MLG's website instead of like Battlefy?
Care.
I don't know. It's probably the same.
It's like exactly the same, right?
Whatever it takes.
But it would help MLG out for that traffic, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how would that benefit MLG at all to put the Pro League on game battles?
Well, now that they're owned by Blizzard, like it's going to be totally different, right?
Right.
It's not even going to matter. I mean, MLG is going to be a totally different thing now.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a waste to get rid of that name MLG, so I'm assuming that it's
gonna be BLG, Blizzard League Gaming.
Blizzard.
I think it's good for people who like Blizzard games, but at the same time, like I feel like it's kind of weird that a huge game company is gonna own like such a big name in esports, you know?
Yeah.
like Blizzard games are gonna take priority, obviously.
They got it for pretty cheap too,
MLG
dude.
and stuff.
Dude,
$46
$47 million
million
is not a lot of money.
That's nothing for them.
Yeah,
Not
that's
for
really
Blizzard.
not.
Well, I'm not even talking about like for them, but I mean like for that brand, that is nothing.
Yeah. Also, look who's also acquiring it, right? Activision, right? Look what
Right.
games they have, and look who like MLG lost their game to ESL, like the championships.
My
So
coach is someone in chat said, "What if they bought MLG for Overwatch?" I absolutely think they bought it for Overwatch, but I don't think that they're going to utilize MLG for just one game. I think that
yeah, we still need to not.
their intent is to utilize it for all their games. Maybe WoW too.
Exactly. Hopefully, wow. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I'll try to help that along.
Crossing
as
my
well.
fingers and my toes.
I think it's silly to, dude. Okay, I think it's silly to ignore WoW at this point. Like
I really think, yeah.
we've proved. Like, look at opening week. Like, we matched every other game's numbers except for Hearthstone because Hearthstone is just this weird anomaly. You know what I mean? And
The game is bad. And
yeah, it's horrible right now,
drop my
and we're
weight.
still.
What if it was good? You know.
You
Yeah.
know?
Dude, I know.
I'm actually
We
gonna
know.
flip out.
Oh, like when Legion comes out, like yeah, we're making this stuff happen now in Warlords.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, man. I'm excited for Legion. Speaking of Legion, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic. Wow. So our next
Yo, can I
topic.
just do a quick shout out?
Yeah,
Shout out
please.
to Rusky. He's a really sweet guy. I see you, Rusky.
Thank you, Rusky.
Eyes on the prize.
Is he sweet? A sweet guy?
Yeah, he's gonna make me cry, but it's cool.
What
Just
did he
go ahead.
say?
How sweet is he?
I love Jahmilli.
Just
He's so
go,
smart and
please,
funny and
please,
beautiful with his
stop,
most
stop.
amazing smile. Wow. All right, let's jump
shout out
into
to
the next
Malik
topic.
Bar.
Okay, the next topic of discussion is the recent Legion PvP post. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it talked a little bit about what we can expect for PvP in Legion. And the first thing I want to talk about in that post is the new honor system. So it's going to be that prestiging setup. So you get the PvP talents, and you prestige and have to do it over again. What's your thoughts on this, Walterbare? Go.
Jeez. I don't know. I like it. I think it sounds good. I think it just sounds like more stuff to do, basically.
Right.
Like any kind of progression is just fun in my eyes. And if it's a prestige system where you don't have to if you don't want to, that's even better. So that sounds like perfect for like an esport environment too, you know?
For sure.
Like if you want to take it seriously, you can just stop when you're at the top and just
Stop while you're on the top. You never flop.
Exactly.
I like it. I mean, it kind of the problem right now with gearing in Legion is that that's where they keep like the progressiveness and that progression and that feeling that you're getting better and earning something in the game is in gear, and it's not really working out. So I like that it gives players that option to progress or to stay and be competitive in arena. You know what I mean? Like I like how it separates that and gives us that option. So I guess that kind of transitions into the next part of it, which is gearing becoming less important. Obviously we love that. Like we want to gear alts, we want to gear different classes. But what's your take on that? Obviously it's good, but why do you feel like that's good, Jahmilli?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Gearing in Legion.
Gearing
Why
in Legion.
Gearing in Legion, they're gonna make it a lot less important. And do you think that's
Oh yeah,
good?
good. It shouldn't be important.
Why?
It's not relevant to. It shouldn't be relevant to like competitive PvP, even though it's that kind of game. Stop. And yeah, you should just be able to queue up and have all the same gear and not have to worry about that stuff. It just makes it more balanced too.
Yeah. I love that it kind of opens up the accessibility to other classes a lot easier. Like right now, if you guys want to queue an alt, you have to like gear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're behind because you're cap and this and that. And I don't like that. It's kind of like discouraging multi-classing. And you know me, my whole thing's multi-classing. But is there any like less obvious consequences that we can't necessarily see right here in gearing becoming less important?
No.
No.
The people that
It's
like
just
gearing
good.
are
It's
going to
just
be
a
upset
win-win.
about it.
As long as there's some way.
Well, if it's for PvP, it's not like people enjoy doing that. I don't think majority, even the casual player, enjoys like, oh, I'm getting my PvP gear.
The thing, in my opinion, I feel like the casual player though, they need something to feel like they're working towards though.
That's what
That's the only thing.
That's what the honor thing is for them, though. You
Well,
know?
yeah, exactly. So
Honor.
as long as they have something to work towards, then
Go do some battlegrounds.
And the prestige system is like way more rewarding than like stupid pieces of gear.
Oh, it's so
So.
weird.
yeah.
No. Sorry, my dog's in here.
It's okay, man, I forgive
Go lay
you.
down.
It's so weird. Like I test the donation thing to see if it's working, and it works perfectly. But when I get donations, it actually is like completely unaligned.
Oh my god, $72.
Oh my god, it's not real. That was
Oh
just a
my.
test. We did get a $5 donation from Haterade52. He says, "What happened to the tournament? I think it was in China or one. Wait, what the heck? Okay, this is a long message.
China.
I think it was in China or one of the BlizzCons where they had every team and every other team. Now that makes the bracket so much bigger in the games, but that's what people that love PvP want games." I don't actually know what tournament you're referring to. I think it was in China or one of the BlizzCons where they had every team, every other team. I know that makes the bracket so much bigger. Oh, so basically, yeah, no, like when it comes to
Round
tournament
robin?
format, I love round robin. I love double
Yeah.
elimination, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot better. And like when it comes
It's a
to
lot
World of
harder,
Warcraft, we talk about compositions and stuff like that. I feel like when you're talking about that, it almost makes up for it a little bit.
The
Maybe
Turbo
not,
would have had to play a jungle
Yep.
at BlizzCon.
2 jungles.
Jungles.
Exactly.
Yep.
It would have been very different.
And all of a sudden, bracket importance goes out the window. Yeah.
Instead, I got 2 jungles. I got
But
conquered.
so when
I guess you could say I was king of the
You got
jungle.
what? We didn't even play you guys. You
Something
got
like
one. Oh, you got him twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
so when it comes to like
We didn't play any US teams.
I love round robin and stuff like that. We're actually gonna make round robin into the GCD Pro League, but it's
Where
difficult. Right? Yeah, round robin for wait, what the fuck? We're gonna make round robin. So the way that it was going to work before is that we were gonna do bi-weekly tournaments, and it was gonna be a big round robin tournament, and the top 8 teams of that round robin tournament would be invited to the finals instead of this double elim that we're doing right now. Thank you so much, Death Parrot, for that 2-month resub, dude.
Death Parrot.
Death
What the heck
Parrot.
does that mean?
And we actually
Wish my
nixed
parrot
that
would die.
idea because it would require more amount of content, and so we would actually be asking players to compete for 4 months with I'm dropping frames, sorry guys, just randomly dropping frames.
Dropping bars.
Should be okay,
Fuck the ISP.
so but like we would have to come up with a bigger prize pool to do that, right? Like you have to increase the incentive if you're going to increase the time of competing, so that's why we didn't do that. So maybe in the future when there's like more incentive in it, we can do round robin. That's the hope, right? And more time. Like, I don't know. But like, so when talking about like the online qualifiers for BlizzCon last year, they're given a time window where they have to get this done, where they have to like work around other esports and stuff like that. And the time window was really short. And so they did like the 3 single limb tournaments instead of like a 1 double limb, which I guess is, it kind of stinks with seeding and stuff. Cause like some people got seeded in the same teams over and over again.
He muted it.
You caught it.
That was a good
That
catch.
came out of nowhere.
That was a good catch, dude. But yeah, I don't know. Round robin is definitely something that we want to do in the future to answer the donation question. But moving on to back to that Legion PvP post, there's another topic. The titles are being split across each faction to better endorse, I guess, faction representation. So they're trying to get more people to go Horde, essentially, and by doing that, they're going to be splitting the titles between Alliance and Horde.
They're evil.
That's so dumb. Why do they care? Why do they care if people are split? Like, if it's competitive PvP and you're getting titles, like what?
I guess that's true, but
that's
then like,
not-
you
that's
go on
not
the
gonna go
forums
through.
and you just see that nonstop, like, why is everyone Alliance? No. So like people actually dislike it, but why? Why do they dislike it? I actually couldn't care less. I wish everyone was on the same faction. So I'm keep dropping frames randomly. I
I think after the movie, is like in the movie, the Alliance are fighting Horde, and then like they become together as teams. So after the movie, the Alliance and Horde are gonna be friends, and they're gonna fight together.
I don't think there's that many people, to be honest. I think there's just a
Spoiler
vocal
alert.
minority. That's what it is.
Dude, you just
David.
ruined the movie for everybody.
Vocal minority, David. That
Wow.
just bitch about
Yeah.
faction.
I'm actually
things.
just dropping all frames right now, and I don't know why.
I'll be the host.
Thanks.
Yeah, I got
Otter.
a question. Okay. Dmachine. So how did you come up with the name D